Beast Gohan, the new Ultra. There's no should you summon, the answer is you should summon. So this video is gonna have a slightly different format. I've already told you should summon. There's gonna be no precursors, there's nothing you need to consider, but you might want to look into his kit. Then at the end of the video, I will highlight specifically what's really good about him and maybe some things you might want to worry about. But this is the end of the festival. There's no reason to hold back as everything built up to this point is for this point. So anything you like right now, including the part 1 characters, Vegito Blue and Rose, the part 2 characters, Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Goku Mini, and now Beast Gohan, you can choose to your liking which one you'd prefer without worrying about anything that's coming out next, as the next releases will be in January, starting the next cycle post New Year's. But one thing I will tell you is Beast Gohan looks beautiful. People don't really like his art card, and I can get behind that, but his animations are pristine, even though of course this is our third Beast Gohan, so he looks familiar. Of course he would, it's the same source material every time, but he's very clearly, if not the best unit in the game, gapping the game, and you guys will see that as we go into his kit. Let's get into this. Okay, so we got Beast San here, Beast Gohan, Ultra Beast Gohan. Let's get into what he can do. So we gotta start at the top. His element is yellow, tags Sun Family Hybrid Saiyan, episode sagas from the movies. One thing they don't write here, he's a melee type. Strike cards are the way. His Z ability here, you'd have him at 5 stars if you pull him because he's an Ultra. So you'd have at least Z ability 2. You'd need to get 8 stars for Z ability 3, which is 6 stars. You get Hybrid Saiyan, 30% to Hybrid Saiyan or episode sagas from the movies, Strike Attack and Blast Attack. Then you unlock Ultimate and Awakened arts if you pull him twice. And you can see it goes up to 5% here, 42%, and there's no additional like there usually is. Like there's usually if there are extra tag, but it's just that, you know, base strike and blast attack for the Hybrid Saiyans and sagas from the movies. The Ultra ability is based on Hybrid Saiyans, and I mentioned this like in the my reveals and stuff reaction. He's yellow, so he's there to protect Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan from any purples. They literally built this. 2 Ultra Gohans in 1 year is crazy. We got the strike arts here. Of course it has blast armor. That's a given, you know. But it also does sustain damage cut effects to enemies. So he's going to be breaking through even more for every single strike cast that he does. The blast arts here restores own ki by 10 upon activation. The blue card here deals massive impact damage. Applies the following effects to self upon activation. Plus 15% to special move damage inflicted. Note that this special move damage cannot be cancelled. But it only activates twice. There's no timer on it, so the second blue card will be stronger than the first one. Then after that, every other blue card will always do 30% damage inflicted, which is nice. Increases Dragon Balls by 1 as well, which only activates once. Then on top of that, the following effects occur on hit, so this is just of activating it. This is if you hit it, you're going to shorten ally sub count by 3, so meaning you can switch out faster, and you're going to take all of the enemy's ki, 100, the whole thing gone. And it also has blast armor, of course, it's the forward moving type. Here we have green card, restores own health by 15% and 50 upon activation, but it's the grab type. But you don't need to land the green card to get the health and the ki, which is nice. So if you're in a bit of a bind, that could actually save your life. The following effects occur on hit, so you have to land it in this case. It's a grab type. Draw a special move arts card next. That's a blue card, and that can happen 3 times, but he will also draw a random card in addition to that to extend his combo. So he's going to draw 2 cards, and one's going to be a blue card, but only for the first 3 times. Apply the following effect. This here is cover nullification, and he's also going to give the enemy 30% damage received, so he's going to do more damage. You can combo everything into it, and it has blast armor. It's the green card moving forward. Here we have the ultimate arts. It deals supreme impact damage, applies the following effects self upon activation. You get 40% damage inflicted. Now what's really nice to know about this is that it can't be cancelled. Even though I believe he only has 1 ultimate, it can't be cancelled, so that's a nice touch. Nullifies enemy restore health when effects when reaches 0, so he nullifies endurance, but that can be cancelled. Standard, you know, nobody has it permanently nowadays. The following effects occur on hit, so that's just of activation. Hitting it, it will do half of the damage inflicted to the enemy members on standby. So it has AoE damage and inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade minus 50% to health restoration for 15 timer counts. So if you're gonna hit this, hitting it on a purple is crazy. Rip G4. It also nullifies blast arts when charging forward, you know, like Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Yeah, it's just gonna go through. It's not gonna do a blast armor thing. He's literally just gonna blitz through, which is insane. Going into the main ability, he draws his ultimate arts. I actually thought it said violent at first, Dragon Ball fan moment, but it says violet, like the color. Destruction Kamehameha. he's gonna go type neutral for 5 timer counts, heal and key of course. But here, he makes sure that his ultimate cannot be destroyed. So he's gonna apply the buff effect, nullifies enemy destroy card effects to self for 5 timer counts. Here we have the unique ability 1. So it's just the main stuff here. But what's to note is that the damage inflicted he has is crazy. 200%. But this is like the typical, you know, the damage reduced, you know, reduces the impact thing. Key, arts card, draw speed, only 1 level, that's standard, and key cost down. Here, this is when he enters the battlefield. So he's going to draw a card every time he enters the battlefield. He'll restore his health by 15% and key by 30 every time he enters the battlefield. He gets 90% damage inflicted, which cannot be cancelled, so he already has 290% damage inflicted. Every time he enters, even though this cannot be cancelled, it activates once. You know, it can't be cancelled, so it's 290% the whole game basically. I don't know why they don't just include it as one number here, but yeah. Nullifies on unfavorable element factors for damage sustained for 10 timer count. So he's going to be type neutral against the damage he receives every time he switches in. Here, nullifies on attribute downgrades and normal condition for 10 timer counts. This can only activate the first 3 times. Destroys all of your enemies' special move cards, or the blue cards. Inflicts all enemies your attribute downgrade minus 40% special move arts power. So on top of destroying all their blue cards, just in the scenario your blue card doesn't get destroyed, he's going to make sure it's super weak. That's nasty work. Here, if he presses a strike or blast card, so on the first time he enters, you're going to see it's going to mention that, he's going to get these things that happen. So if he presses a card, he's going to draw a card. You know, a lot of characters do that. And this activates once, but all of these pretty much reset on switch. So the first time he comes in, it's going to happen again. So when he comes in, he presses a card, he's going to restore his own gauge by 20%, plus 20% to damage inflicted for 10 timer counts. Applies attribute buff effect, cover null. This activates once, so this is going to reset, but this is going to be like every time, which is insane. And this is going to be every time, so he's a snowballer as well. But yeah, unless this counts as all of it, I don't think it is because it's attached to this line. Activate counts reset after character switches. So this is going to work when he comes back in and then presses a card, which is crazy. Applies the following effects to destroy card effects. So his cards can't get destroyed for 5 timer counts, activates once. And then if he switches out and comes back in and presses a card, he will have that effect for 5 timer counts. So he's pretty much immune to most things, which is crazy. Going down here, applies the following effects to self when this character draws a special move arts card. So anytime he draws a blue card, right, he's going to restore key by 30, plus 30% to damage, special move damage inflicted for 5 timer counts. So it's in your favor that when you draw a blue card, to do a blue card pretty fast. On top of the fact that we saw earlier, his green card draws a blue card, which is crazy. And he's going to cancel attribute downgrades to make sure he's clean. He's not going to have any debuffs on him, so he can do the most damage. Pretty good setup. There's more though, there's so much more. The following effects occur every time when hit with an enemy arts attack while this character is on the battlefield. So if he's hit, right, by enemy arts attack, he's going to heal. He's going to shorten ally sub count by 2, which activates twice. So pretty much after the first 2 cards, the 10 will go to 4. But in those first 2 cards, it's probably gone down 2. So it's going to go down to maybe, the 10 will go to 6, but then it will go to 4 because it's already 2 timer counts. That's why I tried to say I messed up the number order. Activate counts reset after character switch. Inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10 plus arts cost. So the enemy is going to have their cost be expensive, which is annoying for them. The following effects occur on remaining health of 50% or below, and he's going to get these major buffs here. Now this segment here is actually devious. 40% to his own health, just all the way up once his health goes below 50%. Note that I'll just tell you from now, he doesn't have endurance. He does cancel buffs though. We'll get to that later though. Him getting below 50%, immediate 40% heal. He's going to take all your key again. Destroys all your enemy cards and seals enemy special arts cards, and this can't be used for 10 timer counts. Now I see this like as crazy insurance, you know. He's already reduced your keys, so you can't use it, but let's say you're immune to that. He's going to destroy all your cards. So let's say you're immune to that. He's going to at least make sure you can't get your green card off like Vegeta or blue, so his counters go crazy. He's got the insurance on lock. Crazy work. Unique ability 2 now. He has a strike cover change, only can combo the blue card. Interesting. While this character is in one of the following states, if your own unique gauge is 30% or more, consumes entire unique gauge to auto counter enemies forward charging ultimate and awakened arts or rising rush. Now this is essentially Go Freezer's mechanic, but what I've noticed about this is that because it includes ultimates and awakened arts, it's low-key nerfed in comparison to Go Freezer. So we know Go Freezer, he actually can counter rising rushes only. That's his kit. But because Beast can also counter ultimate arts and awakened arts, what you can do is land the ultimate arts on him, have him counter it, and then you'll be able to rush him. Including the fact he doesn't have endurance, you can get the rush off a lot more easier without worrying about the counter because this only activates once. So it's not completely foolproof, and them adding these two weaker like ultimates, you know, ultimate and awakened odds, weaker attacks, makes it so that you can get around it easier. If it was only rise and rush, it would block you off completely. But obviously in the same way like Go Freezers works, slide moving or standing still, sidestepping left or right, receiving an attack, changing cover, all of these will allow it to work. And then it excludes the normal conditions and special states caused by certain arts. So I believe like Strike Assault, one own unique gauge will disappear after auto counter activates once, so he doesn't have it again after that. This character's unique gauge decreases while they're on the battlefield and gradually recovers while they're on standby. It just has to be 30% or more, right? It'll be slowly going down the whole game, just like Go Freezers. Auto counter will not activate when changing cover if ability effect is preventing this character from performing special actions that activate when changing cover, so like the Strike Assault and the green Vegeta or blue. Also applies the following effects itself when auto counter activates and deals massive impact damage. So once it's counter activated, he does major damage back. He does the blue card that Red Beast does off the counter. Randomly draws at most 4 new cards when you have 3 or fewer cards, so he's gonna be able to have a card straight away. He's gonna have loads. Insane. Restores own key by 50. He goes type neutral for 5 timer counts. Destroys all of your enemy cards. He's really about it. Type neutral is overall, by the way. So he's gonna do major damage because in that action of him countering, he's type neutral. That's crazy. But he can't kill anybody off it, which is important to know. So at least you won't die. But you'll be damned if you try to hit him with a purple and then he just says, nah. So if you're gonna pro out an ultimate, even though he's gonna be type neutral, being purple is your worst bet. Now here we have this thing called an active gauge, and his active gauge is basically a guaranteed hit where he does his special beam cannon, which we saw in the movie. So very slowly charges own active gauge over time while this character is on the battlefield or on standby, activates a special beam cannon that targets the entire battlefield, tapping the active gauge when full. Applies the following effects to self upon special beam cannon activation. So he's going to go type neutral when he presses it. He's going to nullify endurance. This is important to note because unlike if it was a blue or ultimate, bus might get cancelled, but because it's a literal, like, it's like the synchro gauge, the button on the right, when you press it, you know, it's not arts card, so boss won't be cancelled. He's going to cancel attribute downgrades on normal conditions. This attack cannot be evaded with a vanishing step. This attack cannot be cover changed against. This is absolutely insane. It says here resets own active gauge to 0 if special beam cannon misses. Now I don't understand how it can miss because it's not like hits time skip with a green card. I believe it's a button like the synchro mechanic, so I think it means as if it doesn't kill, because this can kill you. This guaranteed hit effect can kill you, and it deals supreme pierce damage on hit. Charges on unique gauge by 5% every time an ally is hit with enemy's art attack. This can happen 10 times, only 10 times. So as your allies are getting hit, he's going to be building up his gauge. And then the following effects occur when an enemy activates an ultimate art, awakened art, or rising rush while this character is not defeated. Shortens own sub count by 10, cancels enemy attribute upgrades and buff effects, activates once. This was the buff effect thing, which is pretty annoying. It's ultimate, awakened arts, and rising rushes, but not blue cards. You know, just not blue cards. Even his counter over here, it doesn't activate through blue cards. That's also important to note. But yeah, it's even if he's not defeated. So from my understanding, even if he's not on the battlefield, it will work. It's only once, so that's at least like kind of nerfed. And there's no blue cards. I didn't read special move damage; it's not there. And he also shortens his own sub count, so you can bring him back in. Which is insane. Now, it's already been discussed that you should summon. I said that at the start of the video. I don't feel like there's any reason to skip this guy unless you just don't like Beast Gohan. If you're a collector, go ahead and do what you want, but this guy is easily the best kit that we have in the game currently. But I do have some concerns as I'm recording this, obviously prior to him releasing, as I normally do. Let's get into them. This guy's kit could literally be shafted by the fact that he's a glassed cannon. Toshi and Yuka specifically emphasized that this guy is not meant to do any fancy tricks, no long combos, straight firepower. Straight firepower, you know. If you go into war with an AR, you got 30 bullets in your mag. This guy is a walking RPG. He's just meant to blow things up. That's literally how his kit is designed. So for the long term, his damage might fall off, and that's one of my concerns. His stats could also be pretty bad because he's meant to do crazy damage, but I imagine impossible because he already has like 290% and more out of his kit in general. So he's going to do crazy damage in general. He has, in a sense, not survivability like endurance or anything like that, but he has good allies, so he should be fine. In regards to his buff cancellation, it doesn't include the blue card, and neither does his counter gauge. It's rising rushes, ultimate art, and awakened art in the same way that he also cancels buffs. So blue cards can sneak him, but you still have to be wary, you know, because he can destroy them in some cases. So there are some parts where there might be an opening to take him out, especially with his element being yellow, but he does protect a lot of people while also being protected himself by his allies or just being leader slotted, being so powerful. Obviously his mechanic, the guaranteed hit, is just absurd. So I don't assume this guy will be anywhere near bad. I should see this guy being the best guy in the game. I'm not trying to downplay him in any regard. I'm just mentioning some things that could possibly come out and be like, okay, this guy isn't as good as we anticipated. But regardless, this unit will very much be a problem in PvP. Don't expect PvP to get better with the release of this guy, but he does look good. He does look flashy. He's very powerful. I'm no way, in a sense, downplaying him, just labeling some concerns that I saw, because obviously his kit, nobody's kit in this game is perfect, but there are people that have a lot more advanced kits. So in some cases, if his damage does fall off, he won't have the combos to do long term, so he can't actually add anything to the team besides from his high damage power. And if he doesn't have that, it's just some mechanics that won't hurt you, and that's assuming long term. But for right now, this guy should be at the top of the game with no concern. I already said at the start of the video, you should summon for him without fail. Without fail, this guy is going to be cooking. Now, people just like to know whether I'm going to be summoning. It should be a no-brainer that I'm going to be summoning for Beast Gohan. I actually predicted Beast Gohan, and my basis was simply MUI and Beast are literally the most likely picks. However, MUI hasn't leaked. He always leaks without fail, which means it's not him, it's Beast Gohan. I'm here for Beast Gohan. I don't know if I'll go deep though. If I get one copy early on, I might go back into Vegito, just out of preference. Beast Gohan does look nice or whatever. I just want to have him, but I don't really care to high star him. I might try get 2 copies at max. I only have 18,000, or I say only, but that's a lot more of most of you guys. But yeah, I'll 100% be summoning. I won't be live streaming my summons, but I'll be live tomorrow for sure. Tap into the live stream later in the day, and of course, watch my summon video. I'm sure it'll be a good experience, but of course, good luck to you guys summoning. I'm sure you guys definitely need it too. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. I can only say good luck to you guys summoning. I'm gonna need the luck too. Everybody's gonna want this guy. He's the new most broken character in the game. Typical Dragon Ball Legends cycle. Nothing we were shocked about, besides from maybe he was expecting MUI, and the guys expecting Fusions of Zamasu are still crazy. You know, just wrap that up. Stop bringing him up. Stop. He's not dropping, bro. He's not. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you haven't already, make sure to press the subscribe button. We're on this grind to 200,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys for watching, man. My name is Zakashi, guys, and I will see you guys in the next one, man.